Hi, I'm Iden Odinson, Mary Meet, and welcome to the Sabbath School class. Today, I'd like to give a little bit of time to your personal sacred space. It's an issue that most of us face at one time or another, especially if we live in a place that isn't quite our own, or sometimes if we live in a place that is our own but isn't quite as big. Yeah, it would be nice for each and every one of us to have our own private chapel, or at least someplace permanently set aside as sacred space. Well, what if you can't? Or what if you just don't have? Could be for any number of reasons. Too many people in the house that just don't go along with your way of doing things. To just, where would you put it? Well, the answer to that is something to the effect of, look what you do have, look at what you do have and what you can have, and see how close they can be made to what you would like to have. In times of persecution, people used what they had to make their own sacred space. You want to look at Christian history? Take a look at the catacombs of Rome and how they went down to basically underground mausoleums and held their worship there, because that was one place where nobody was going to bother them. Which doesn't mean you go to the local cemetery and do things there. No, you don't have to quite do that. But that'll give you one idea. And various other times of persecution. In England, during the time of Henry VIII and his more immediate heirs, the various things that the Catholics and other forms of Protestant that weren't Anglican had to do to continue. The French Huguenots, who would meet in the woods, and they would have an altar. And the altar could be disassembled, and everybody took a piece of the altar home with them. Many ways. When major groups begin, many of them, actually perhaps most, almost invariably begin by using places that are available. Many an Episcopal church began in an Oddfellows Hall or a school gymnasium. I've known many Baptist churches that can point to somebody in the congregation and they'd say, we first met in their house. When the base chaplain at Ubon, Thailand refused, actually laughed at, a request for Episcopal services, a young lieutenant held evening prayer in his room in the bachelor officer quarters. So you're not settling for something. You're joining with thousands or even millions who had to do what they had to do, doing likewise for any number of reasons. Okay, so we get past the excuses. What do you do? Well, here's an example that I've used many times, called a folding table or a TV tray. This one I bought for Temple of Gaia, and it's a side table for the altar here. Is its regular job And if we have to go somewhere where there isn't an altar, we've got this. So, yeah, a TV tray, any kind of folding table. One time I needed an altar in a place I was living in. I used the top of my dresser. As a matter of fact, I put the altar stuff in one of the dresser drawers, and I would just clear off the top of the dresser, put the altar stuff on top of it, and I had an altar. I've known other people to just take one place at the dinner table, or, for that matter, use the dinner table. Another that I heard of that was rather unique and special, I've heard this from about prisoners. I've also heard about this from men who have to live in military barracks. The top of a locker. Now there is very special space, because hardly anybody uses the top of a locker anyway. Not for very much. So there it is. There's a few solutions. What you use depends on what you need and what you have. You can also, I've seen people use their bed. Some people take a tray and lay it on their bed so that there's a little bit more solid of a surface, but hey, why not? The point is, it's yours. One time I used, in a college dorm room, the front edge of the bookshelf, the part of the bookshelf where the books weren't. That worked. Never forget, your most powerful magical tool is between your ears. Armed with that, your altar, even if it's an altar of necessity, can pack a wallop. Never forget, it's not the price tag or how fancy it is. What makes your sacred space sacred and powerful is the person making that sacred space sacred. I might. Blessed be. Uriel's Gifts and the Secrets in Plain Sight are sponsored by the Temple of Gaia. At Temple of Gaia, we don't train you to our path. We show you how to find and pursue your own path. Above all, we tried to provide a great place to come together and to share. We're located in Collingdale, Pennsylvania, just outside of Philadelphia, and wherever cyberspace can be reached. To learn more, visit our website at templeofgaiainc.org or our meeting place in cyberspace at templeofgaia.ning.com. Thank you for coming. Feel free to return at any time. We intend to always have something for you here. Blessed be. This has been a presentation of the Wise Ones Net. Merry part and blessed be.